The Stallions are red hot, winners of 4 straight games and looking to make it 5 for the first time this season here at Eastfield against the Glens Falls Dragons. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi here on the Archtop Fiber pregame show. And Nick, this is a Stallion squad that just wants to keep on rolling.
A plus 20 run differential over these last 4 games. The Stallions have been hot, Dan.
And safe to say that continued last night against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, an 11-1 victory in 8 innings, which was really a prove-it game for the Stallions, and they more than stepped up to the plate.
They came into that one playing the Diamond Dogs, like you said, a team who had lost 2 consecutive games, and they just looked like they were outmatched from beginning to end.
The craziest thing about that game was heading into that one, the Stallions and Diamond Dogs through 4 games this season, a 0-run differential. Safe to say Saugerties blew that right up.
And it was the bats for the Stallions. They scored 11 runs on 8 hits. Now at least 8 knocks in their last 7 games. Dan, the offense is certainly getting hot.
The pitching, too, was crucial for the Stallions in this game, and that led to Sean Dertinger, the starter for the Stallions, being handed the Player of the Game award, and he went 5 innings strong with just 1 run given up.
And 4 strikeouts coming into that game. Dertinger was a guy who didn't strike out many guys last season for the Stallions, only a handful in his 8 starts as a Stallion, but he had 4 last night, so he was able to execute with the strikeout.
And it's nice to see a familiar face like Sean get back into the mix. 5 innings for him, pitched with the Stallions last year and had a 2.60 ERA, so they're really looking for him to step up more throughout the rest of the season.
Really continue to get length from their starters as well. Dertinger went 5 innings. It's now the 4th straight start for the Stallions pitchers where they've gone at least 4 and haven't allowed more than 2 earned.
Derek Constance is going to look to keep that going here tonight for Saugerties. Our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis, caught up with first base coach, head coach Colin Norton, double Colin, caught up with him before coming up here to Glens Falls to talk about how the ponies have been rolling.
Tampassis, and alongside me, I have first base coach Colin Norton. Now, the Stallions within the last 2 games have been errorless after a 7-game error streak. What adjustments have been made?
Just getting more reps into the guys, some pregame, getting ground balls work during BP, and the guys really take it to their work, so that's all.
Now, the Stallions are on a 4-game win streak and about to have the longest streak in this season. What is the plan to solidify that for tonight?
Keep hitting and keep pitching. Pitchers are doing their job, going deep into games, and relievers come in throwing strikes, hitters to work on the counts, getting on base and stealing bases, and that's our offense. So.
Now, on the topic of pitchers, in the last 2 games, the Stallions have had 2 new starting pitchers. What has been the deciding factor in the lineup?
Guys come in and out, and Dertinger last night was here last year. Great guy, great start by him. Just trying to get guys in and out of the game. It's summer ball. They're here to throw innings. They're here to get at-bats. We're just trying to accommodate that the best.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, and good luck tonight.
You're welcome.
Always great to catch up with first base coach Colin Norton. Really gets the insights on this team. And Nick, these Stallions are going to try and keep it rolling tonight against a Dragons squad that has been struggling here at Eastfield against Saugerties. Just 1 win through 3 matchups.
But they have 9 wins on the year, and the Dragons have defeated the Stallions in 3 of those wins. So this is a very capable squad if you're the Stallions.
They've been struggling a little bit as of late, though. The Dragons, losers of 2 straight, and that coming in a doubleheader here to the Amsterdam Mohawks. The biggest thing for the Stallions here at Eastfield last time in that doubleheader was their bats just went quiet.
They only had 2 innings out of the entire 14-inning doubleheader where they scored more than 1 run. But the Stallions' offense is hot right now, Dan, so it looks like fortune will be on their side today.
An offense that's not so hot is the Dragons. They've cooled down a fair bit so far this season, and those numbers not looking very good.
They're last in batting average and on base percentage, and it's not like they started the season hot and have been cold. Just last night, only 5 hits in 14 innings of play against the Mohawks.
Nearly knocked off Amsterdam, ended up losing 5-2 in the first game of the doubleheader in 8 innings, so it took the Mohawks an extra inning to get the job done. But this is a Dragons team that still, despite the numbers, has been hitting against the Stallions.
They have the same number of hits as the Stallions, 50 to be exact, through the first 7 meetings between these 2 teams. So the hits have been even, but the run differential, plus 21 in favor of Saugerties.
Saugerties' offense has been potent. 8 or more hits for them over this 4-game win streak, and a big part of that has been Justin Ford. He was just named the PGCBL Player of the Week in what was really video game-like numbers for the Seton Hall product.
4 games this week, he hit over 500 and reached base more than 1 out of every 2 at-bats. He was just an animal for the Stallions.
Outside of the numbers, I think the biggest thing for me was if you look through the games where he's had all of these RBIs, he's come up in the clutch moments. At Oneonta, had the 2 RBI single. In the July 4th game, was delivering for Saugerties in that 6th. He's really been a clutch bat for this team.
In the last 4 games, he's had an RBI hit in the 6th inning or later in 2 of those games. So despite the 12 RBIs, Ford's been coming up with big hits, like you said.
He's certainly been a contender so far for the PGCBL MVP as we reach the final 3 weeks of the season, and that takes us to our PGCBL standings. And Nick, the Stallions are chasing the Mohawks 4 games back. With the win here tonight, that would go to 3.5, and then you got the pivotal home and home after the off day tomorrow.
And the Stallions have had success at Shuttleworth too, which is the big thing. They've won 2 of the first 3 there, but Amsterdam has won 3 of the first 5 overall. So both of those teams, those 2 games could go either way.
Saugerties still without a win at Cantine Field against the Amsterdam Mohawks, and really the Stallions need to win over these next 3 because the Boonville Lumberjacks are sneakily sitting there in 3rd place.
They're not going anywhere. This is a team that has showed all year they're not going to fold. They've been playing consistent baseball throughout the entire summer. They really haven't gotten hot or cold, like you said, consistently sitting there at 3rd.
And after the loss last night, Mohawk Valley has really dropped down the ranks for them. They're now sitting 7 games out and in 4th place.
This was a Mohawk Valley team that actually was in 2nd a little bit earlier in the year. They were less than 2 games back of the Amsterdam Mohawks. At one point in the year, Dan, 4 teams were less than 2 games back of 1st place, but the Stallions and Mohawks have kind of cemented themselves as the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed.
Just like how it was last year, Stallions and Mohawks finished 1 and 2, but we still got 3 weeks left in the PGCBL season, and more importantly, we got baseball here at Eastfield coming up in just a minute. First pitch after this. Ponies are red hot, and they'll look to continue that here at Eastfield tonight. Dan Shallum with you, alongside Nick Zuppi. Saugerties winners of 4 straight coming into this one, looking to make it 5 for the first time here in the 2025 PGCBL season. And Nick, this is a squad that finally got a run rule victory last night, 11-1 over the Diamond Dogs.
Only their second of the season, and the first one came back in the first week of the season against the Oneonta Outlaws. But Dan, it's been the Bats in this 4-game winning streak, averaging almost 9 runs per game over the last 4.
And here's the lineup tonight that's going to look to keep the offense going. Griffin Crane leads off, and he has been a monster on the base path so far for these Stallions. 6 stolen bags in his first 2 games. Then it's Reese Maroney, who reached base in every plate appearance last night. Justin Ford, just named Player of the Week in the PGCBL, batting over .570. Then it's George Baker making his first start at first. Travis Hobbins-Siefkin, Casey Comiskey. Then it's Ryan King, Michael Levinson, Fitzsimmons, and then Anthony Lino to round things off. And the arm they're going to be going against is Cameron Biller.
Biller is a guy who pitches and hits for the Outlaws. He hasn't pitched since June 24th against the Outlaws, where he threw 1 1/3 innings but did not allow a run.
Biller set at the belt, fires a first pitch strike in the top of the zone. And Crane has been the leadoff man now over the last 3 games for the Stallions. Ever since he's got here, he's stayed in that spot. Really couldn't ask for much more. Gives a little chopper over to third base. Carpier's can't handle it. He reaches on the error by the third baseman, and the Stallions have their leadoff runner on.
Now, in all 3 games that Crane has hit leadoff for the Stallions in the first inning, he's reached base, and in the last 2, he's also stolen second. So Griffin Crane is doing a nice job of setting the table for the Stallions offense.
So speaking of this Glens Falls defense that just had trouble, here's what they were out. McLaughlin behind the plate, Carpier, Savoca, Houghton, and Galillo and the infield, and then in the outfield, left to right, Gallagher, Jackson, and Stroh. That credited as a single to Griffin Crane, so it's a leadoff hit for the Stallions, and Reese Maroney at the plate. Takes a first pitch changeup at the top of the zone for strike 1. Maroney last night was a walk machine. He had 3 in total and a single. We give a check over on Crane, and for right reason. He stole a base last night, but it really stems from the first game that he played in Oneonta. He had 5 in that one, and he's already got 6, sneakily becoming soon the leader on this team in stolen bags at the current pace, and Maroney's nabbed by the pitch. It's the first hit by pitch of the game, and the Stallions are threatening here in the first. First and second with nobody out for PGCBL Player of the Week, Justin Ford.
Now 5 straight plate appearances where Maroney has reached base, and only one of them was by way of a base hit. He had 3 walks last night and now a hit by pitch here today.
The big number that you want to circle on Ford's stat line coming into this game is 30 RBIs. That leads the PGCBL, and he was named Player of the Week for right reason. Trying to up that number here in the first. Takes the first pitch down low.
Ford is really hot over his last 4 games, hitting over 600, 14 for his last 23 with 12 RBIs.
He's been very disciplined hitter at the dish so far this season as well. 12 walks, which ranks 3rd on the team. Trying to create some noise early here for the Stallions. The 2-0. Both runners will go. Here's the throw down from McLaughlin. Not in time. It's another stolen bag for Griffin Crane. Reese Maroney gets one as well on the double steal. Second and third with nobody out and a 3-0 count to Justin Ford. Waiting on deck is George Baker. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Ford, and Baker with a real opportunity to make an impact here early on.
And Biller is a guy coming into today who's had trouble out on the mound, this being his 6th appearance as a Dragon. He's only pitched 6 innings through his first 5, and he's given up 6 earned runs to go with 6 walks. So he's averaging a run and a walk an inning this summer.
Baker has started to find himself here a little bit for the Stallions, stemming from a conversation with Andrew Amato, former Stallions player. They really talked about changing his load, getting closer to the plate, and really compacting that swing to where he can have the barrel in any part of the zone. And it's made an impact for him, because he had an extra base hit in his last game. This time, lines one up the middle. That ball is down. Coming in to score is Crane. Maroney on his way home. There will be no throw. It's a 2 RBI single for George Baker. 2-0 Stallions here in the first.
You were talking about keeping his barrel through the zone, Dan, and oh boy, did Baker do that. He got a fastball and crushed it right back up the middle. Not trying to do too much, just hit it where it's pitched, and he picks up 2 RBIs on 1 swing.
Saugerties attacking early here at East Field. The offense has been hot over the last few games, and that continuing here tonight. Over the last 2 coming into this one for the Stallions, 19 runs. Haben-Siefken at the plate now. He's in right field tonight. Second on the team in RBIs. A great RBI opportunity. Still nobody out for the Stallions here in the first. Biller deals a first pitch strike.
Haben-Siefken sits second on the team in RBIs at 23. He was the leader in the category at one point in the season, but Ford has gotten hot.
Takes down low. And for the Stallions, 4 straight games now where they've scored at least a run in the first inning. 1-1. Big cut and a miss from Haben-Siefken. He wanted the fastball at the top of the zone. Can't make contact, and now Biller on the cusp of his first out here tonight. The 1-2. Haben-Siefken lines it into center field. Jackson going back, getting ready to tag from second is Ford. Here he goes. The throw's not there in time. So with 1 down here in the first, the Stallions have runners at the corners.
Productive at-bat from Haben-Siefken. Got a pitch to drive. He hit it hard right to the center fielder, Jackson, but he advanced forward from second to third, making him 90 feet away from scoring here in the first.
True RBI opportunity for Casey Comiskey, batting above 250 coming into this game. Cuts at the first pitch he sees, grounds it over to second base. Houghton throws to first. It's an RBI fielder's choice, and the Stallions are up by 3.
Now back-to-back productive at-bats for Stallions hitters. Get him on, get him over, get him in. Ford gets on, Haben-Siefken gets him over, and Comiskey gets him in. Fundamental baseball from this Stallions offense.
Still a dangerous threat here that the Dragons are facing. Ryan King at the plate. Baker at second. The first 4 hitters for the Stallions in the first reaching base safely. That's resulted in a 3-0 lead and some breathing room for Derek Constance to work with when he comes on in the bottom of the first. King takes the first pitch he sees outside, 1-0.
And King was a guy last night for the Stallions who was on base all 3 times. He had a double to go with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. So the Rhode Island guys, Dan, did not get out at all last night.
Leaves the fastball on the inside corner. And for King, over his last 2 games, he's had a double in each of them. So he's really been getting hot at the right time for this Stallions team that is all around hitting. A big cut and a miss for him right there on the 2-0 fastball. Stallions in this game have not struck out at all. Only 2 hits. They've also earned 2 walks in the first. The 2-1. Breaker at the top of the zone.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down, and Baker over at second. 3 runs across for the Ponies here in the first. Biller set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Just misses his spot on the outside corner. And for the first time here tonight, the count goes full.
The Stallions as a team don't strike out very much. They have the 3rd fewest this season amongst all teams in the PGCBL.
Payoff. Misses low in the zone. King works the walk. Second base on balls issued by Biller here in the first. Also hit Maroney by the pitch. And Michael Levinson comes to the plate. Now a guy who has a lot of power and through 2 games this season, slashing .500 for the Stallions.
Last time Levinson played was against the Outlaws up at Damaski Field, where the Stallions won 8-3. Levinson went 1 for 2 with 2 walks.
But that one was a big one. He had a double in that game. Led off things in the 7th. Trying to cash in with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Biller deals. Finds a spot. 1-1. And Cameron Biller dealing with some early adversity. Came into this game with a 9 ERA over 6 innings pitched. The 1-1. Levinson leaves it at the top of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Back-to-back breaking balls from Biller. That seems like early on here that is the pitch that gets him into a 2-strike count.
Nearly had strike 3 on the outside part of the zone. Not called. Two-two. Levinson pokes it over to second base there to make the play as Houghton. And the Stallions' rally is limited. They strand runners at first and second, but plate 3 here in the top of the first, and a little bit of a cushion for Derek Constance to work with in the bottom of the first. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi here in the bottom of the first. Stallions getting started early here at Eastfield. 3 runs in the top of the first. And on the mound tonight for the Stallions going against the Dragons lineup is Derek Constance. He'll try and put a stop to this Glens Falls offense that was limited last night against the Amsterdam Mohawks. Tyree Jackson leads things off. He's been the leadoff man all season long for them. Trent Jenks leads the team in average as the DH. Then it's Aiden Gallagher, Robert Mello, the EH, Joe Carpierre, Gino Savoca, Nick Galileo, James Houghton, Brandon McLaughlin, and Travis Stroh out there in right. And Nick, Derek Constance hasn't pitched in nearly 3 weeks for the Stallions.
His last start was a good one, though, June 20th against the Oneonta Outlaws, where the Stallions came away with a 10-4 victory. More importantly, though, Constance went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits on 2 runs. But, Dan, Constance was one of these guys that was one of the first starters to go deep into a ballgame. Pitching coach Prax Vigil had trusted Constance to go deep into the game, and he did so.
Here's the defense that's backing him up. Here tonight, the catcher will be Anthony Lino, then Comiskey over at third, Maroney at short. Over at second base for the Stallions. Here tonight is Levinson, then Baker at first for the first time this season, left to right in the outfield. Ford, Fitzsimmons, and Hobbin Siefkin. First pitch to Jackson is a strike right down Broadway. Constance pitching to a 3.71 ERA for the Stallions this season in 17 innings pitched. A 1. Smacked over to the right side. Levinson's there, an easy out, number 1 for Constance. And a few weeks ago, Derek didn't know where he was going. Played his past season at Stony Brook, recently committing to Lemoyne for next season, using Pack Hub and figuring out the transfer portal.
Congratulations to Derek on that commitment. Going to Lemoyne next year, and Pack Hub is a useful service for anybody in the transfer portal, can help get eyes on your profile in the transfer portal.
Certainly has helped out a lot of these Stallion athletes that have been in the portal so far this year. First pitch to Trent Jenks, the DH, is a strike. And despite everything else that's been going on with this Dragons team offensively, where they've been struggling, Jenks has maintained a near .350 batting average in 19 games. Here in a 1-1 count.
Jenks is just one of 2 guys on this team that qualify in terms of batting average that hit above 300.
Constance with the big power fastball. The only other one, Robert Mello, 364. He's been slashing the ball this season, and he is the extra hitter in the cleanup spot tonight. 1-2. Constance thought for a second that was strike 3. Misses on the inside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trent Jenks. Just stays alive, catches a piece of the fastball, which has looked sharp for Constance here very early on.
That's his go-to pitch, bread and butter for Constance. He loves powering the fastball in there, locating it up, down on both sides of the plate as well. Like you said, Dan, his fastball was on here early.
Might try to go back to it here in a 2-ball, 2-strike count with 1 down in the bottom of the first. The pitch misses down low. Constance finds himself in his first full count of the ballgame. Just 5 walks for him so far this season. He's a strikeout guy. And guess what? He's got number 12 on the year right there. 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
Stallions pitchers have done a nice job of using the strikeout to their advantage. They had 7 in 8 innings last night between Dertinger and Osmond. Constance picks up right where those 2 left off, picks up his first here in the first.
And he is looking sharp to start off this outing. Aiden Gallagher, the left fielder, at the plate. First pitch grounded to the left side. Comiskey fields, throws to first in time. It's a 1-2-3 first inning for Derek Constance in his first appearance in 3 weeks' time. Stallions leading 3-0 going to the second. Welcome back to Glens Falls. Dan Shalom with you alongside Nick Zuppi here in the top of the second. Stallions bats back up, starting with Dylan Fitzsimmons, the center fielder. Saugerties brought 8 hitters to the plate in the top of the first, in which they plated 3. Fitzsimmons swings at the first pitch he sees, fouls it off to the left side for strike 1.
And Dan, Constance did a great job of responding in the bottom half. A 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout mixed in there against Jenks. He looks really good through the first 3 hitters he's faced today.
And that's just what you want. Get the bats back into the dugout while they're hot. 1-1 count. Cameron Biller has struggled a little bit to start this game. 3 walks for him. And the big hit being the 2 RBI single from George Baker. 1-1. Off-speed misses at the top of the zone. And speaking of Baker, he looked good over there at first base in his first defensive play. First time he's starting over there this season for Saugerties.
He's played a couple games behind the plate, and he's looked good there too, Dan. 2 caught stealings in 2 games behind the dish.
2-ball, 2-strike count to Fitzsimmons. He's a guy who has had a slow start here to his time in Saugerties, 200 average in 5 games. Biller deals, and Fitzsimmons stays alive.
Fitzsimmons does, though, have 2 extra base hits and 3 RBIs through his first 4 games as a Stallion. But it's the strikeout that really hurts him. 7 Ks. He's averaging more than a strikeout per game.
2-2 is smacked into deep right field. Stroh going back. He takes a look. That ball is gone. Dylan Fitzsimmons with a monster mash here at the top of the second, and it's 4-0 Stallions.
There's the extra base power that we were talking about from Fitzsimmons. Gets a fastball and crushes it. A no-doubt home run to right.
The Stallions have been crushing as of late at the plate, that being a perfect example of it. Last night, the Diamond Dogs had a solo home run. This time, the Stallions get one of their own, courtesy of Dylan Fitzsimmons, that his first of the season. Anthony Lino at the plate, the catcher. Takes a first pitch ball, and for Cameron Biller, he's just been getting knocked around to start things off.
Loud contact. It's not like the Stallions are finding grass on bloops, broken bad hits. The Stallions are catching barrels.
1-1 count for Linos. Catcher at a high point, did not play there this past season. Getting some extra reps here with Saugerties in the summertime. He does go around on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Back-to-back games for Lino as well, where he's had an RBI hit. So this is a guy, Dan, who provides the Stallions with great depth, and he's been succeeding in the batter's box as well.
Goes down on strikes there. That's the first K of the ball game for Cameron Biller. 1 down in the top of the second. Top of the order for Saugerties. Griffin Crane coming to the plate for the second time here tonight. Started things off with the single over to third base in the first. Stole a bag and then came in to score on the 2 RBI single from George Baker. Biller deals. Misses inside. 1-1.
This is Crane's 4th game as a Stallion, and Dan, he's been on base in all 4 of those games this summer.
Biller paints the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No arm getting going out there in the Glens Falls bullpen just yet. 4 runs have come across, all earned through 1 1/3 so far for Cameron Biller. Tried to go back to the same spot there. Misses with the off speed. 2-2 to Griffin Crane, the Louisville product. Biller fires. Trying to hammer home the outside part of the plate. The home plate umpire not giving it to him, and it's a full count.
Crane's one of 2 Louisville guys. George Baker's the other one who played for the Cardinals in the College World Series.
And Crane chops the ball over to second. Houghton throws to first. 2 down after the leadoff home run from Dylan Fitzsimmons. Reese Maroney to the plate. He was hit by the pitch on the first inning, was just skimmed on his jersey. No hard contact on his body. Did come around to score as the second run of the game for the Stallions. Takes a first pitch ball, and it just seems like Biller hasn't had a lot of real confidence behind his pitches after getting hit around in the first. Been avoiding the zone here a little bit in the second.
It almost feels as if he's trying to make the perfect pitch to these Stallion hitters. He's gotten hit around here through his first inning and 2/3 today against the Stallions. Like I said, it's like he's trying to make the perfect pitch.
And if you are a Stallions fan, this is just what you want to see out of Saugerties ahead of what will be a crucial 2 games against the Amsterdam Mohawks after the off day tomorrow, a home and home against Amsterdam, starting at Cantine Field on Wednesday. And we'll have that game for you here on the Stallions YouTube network. 2-1 misses at the top of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike.
And the Stallions have actually won 5 of their last 6. The only loss during that stretch, the Amsterdam Mohawks, an 11-8 loss up at Shuttleworth.
Maroney takes his 5-pitch walk, and Nick, that was kind of what happened last year for these Stallions. They had 3 win streaks of 5 or more, starting at 7-0 in their first 7 games of the season. But it felt like every time that they would get hot, they would run into the Mohawks on the calendar, and that would be put to bed. Hoping to keep that going against Amsterdam, given that they see this one out here tonight.
And the Amsterdam Mohawks don't look as invincible as they did last year. A team that won 35 games last year. So far this year, they're 26-1.
And they finished last year with a 35-7 record, already on the verge, 1 loss away from hitting that total. Justin Ford at the plate in an 0-1 count. Takes outside Maroney, goes down to second. Here's the throw, and it beats him there. Maroney tried to get a little bit too ambitious. McLaughlin guns him down, but the Stallions still get 1 more thanks to a Dylan Fitzsimmons solo shot, which started at the top of the second. Saugerties up 4-0. Bottom of the second here at Glens Falls. Constance pitching to Robert Mello, who's the extra hitter tonight in the cleanoff spot. Fouls the first pitch he sees straight back to the screen. Stallions adding another run in the top of the second. Dylan Fitzsimmons went yard on the second pitch he saw to start off the inning. And then the Stallions would have Reese Maroney reach base on a 2-out walk, but then he was caught stealing to end the inning. Robert Mello has been the best bat on this Dragons team. 9 games so far, .364 batting average. Cuts and misses down low. Constance has been great. Retired the first 3 hitters he saw in order in that bottom of the first. 1, 2, 3. Looking to establish that same dominance here in the second. The pitch misses on the inside part of the plate. 2-2.
And his fastball so far, Dan, has got unbelievable run on it. It's going into lefties and away from righties.
Just what you want to see out of a guy who hasn't pitched for Saugerties in 3 weeks. Count stays at 2-2. The reason that Mello has been so successful for the Dragons at the plate has been extra base hits. Of his 8 base knocks, 4 of them have been at least a double or a triple. The 2-2. Strike 3, got him swinging. Derek Constance keeps it going here in the second. Second strikeout of the day for him, and he's retired 4 straight to start things here in Glens Falls.
Completely mowed down Mello with the fastball. Light years behind that one was Mello for strike 3.
He seems unstoppable right now, given that that was Glens Falls' best hitter by average. Joe Carpier's the third baseman, steps in now. And Constance freezes him with the off-speed. He's done a really nice job with his pitch mix so far, utilizing the fastball in the high leverage counts, but Carpier's was not expecting things to start off with the curveball. 0-1. Goes back to that fastball, and Carpier's just gets a piece. 0-2.
And he's doing a nice job of getting ahead. That's the biggest thing. He can go to the fastball or the breaking ball like he did so against Carpier's. This at-bat to get ahead, and that has set him up for success here early.
No balls and 2 strikes here with 1 down. The pitch misses down low, and that's something you don't hate to see from Constance. Just waste one in the dirt.
Not the worst thing in a no-ball, 2-strike count. He has the entire pitch arsenal to work with. He threw a fastball and a breaking ball of the pitch prior. So it's not the worst thing to change the eye level of Carpier's. Now we can go back up in the zone and it'll look much higher.
Constance steals. Ring him up. Back-to-back Ks for Derek Constance to start things off here in the bottom of the second. And there's 2 down.
This guy is a K machine so far for the Stallions. He only had 11 coming into this one in his first 17 innings. But he's already got 3 here today, and he's only faced 5 hitters.
He's been perfect through those 5. Has retired all of them. We'll look to keep it going here against Gino Savoca, the shortstop. First pitch misses on the outside part of the plate, 1-0. And Nick, if the Stallions can have a guy like Derek Constance really establish himself as a true starter on this team, that would be a big thing for this squad that really, at this point, doesn't have a true ace. Sean Dertinger showed it last night, but that was only his first start for the Stallions here in 2025.
A bunch of different guys, like you said, have gone up, thrown a bunch of different innings this season. Virgil Heath has gone at least 4. Speranza's gone 4, but we've seen him be worked in as a middle relief guy as well.
1-1 fooled him right there. Carpier's was miles behind that one, and now Constance with a chance to strike out the side here in the bottom of the second. He's going to step off, touch the rosin bag. Got both Mello and Carpier swinging to start things here in the bottom of the second. The 1-2. Strike 3. Constance looks unstoppable. He strikes out the side here in the bottom of the second. 6 up, 6 down for Derek Constance to start his outing. Stallions lead 4-0 going to the third.
I'm Hannah Tampassis and welcome back. The Stallions lead 4-0 over the Glens Falls Dragons. Every time the Stallions compete here at East Field, the Glens Falls Dragons dugout is extremely loud and full of chatter, but currently the Stallions dugout is overpowering. This 4-game win streak amongst the Stallions is clearly benefiting their confidence and team cohesion. Along with that, we are up 4-0 after just the first inning, and while I touched after team chemistry about a week ago, it has only increased from there. Back to you guys.
Certainly has, Hannah. And a big part of that is that the Stallions are now sitting just 4 games back at the Amsterdam Mohawks on a 4-game win streak. And they've certainly shown the team chemistry. That's been a big part of why they've gotten so hot here in July.
And it's really showing in the way they're swinging the bats on offense. No one's trying to do too much. No one's going into the batter's box thinking, I have to hit a home run to score. They're trusting the guy behind them. It's almost as if it's a pass the baton mentality on offense.
Justin Ford at the plate and an 0-2 count to Cameron Biller. Chops it foul, stays alive. And the chemistry has certainly proved to be a big part of why the Stallions' offense has gotten so hot over their last 2 games coming in. 19 runs. And here tonight, already 4 through 2 innings. 0-2. Chop to the left side. Carpier's fields over at the hot corner. A wild throw to first, and it gets behind Galileo. Ford goes over to second. It's a free 90 feet for him. And the defensive woes continue for the Dragons. Stallions have their leadoff runner on for the 3rd time in this game.
Back in the first inning, Griffin Crane reached base on what was scored a single. It was a bang-bang play that could have been scored either way, but Carpier's here in the 3rd, a similar type of play for him over at 3rd, made an errant throw, allowed Ford to reach base.
That goes down as an E5, first official error of the game on the Dragons. Now George Baker to the plate, who has a 2 RBI single already in this ball game. Chops it right off Biller's hand, and he's in some pain. Going over to 3rd on the play is Ford. But definitely going to take a second here to check out Cameron Biller. He was smoked by George Baker.
Back-to-back plate appearances now for Baker, where he smoked one up the middle. Unfortunate that it caught Biller there out on the mound. He looks like he's in some serious discomfort. We hope he's okay.
Just shaking off that hand, and I'll tell you one thing, George Baker throws the ball extremely hard. He can also hit a ball, and that exit velo was probably near triple digits on that.
And that's what he does. He's a powerful guy behind the dish. He has a rocket of an arm, as well as in the batter's box. He has plenty of pop, and it's been on display here today. Unfortunately, though, for Baker, he doesn't pick up a hit after that definitely has been the hardest hit baseball here tonight so far for the Stallions.
He does move up the runner 90 feet, and Dragons coaching staff still talking things over with Biller. They want to make sure that he's okay, and they're going to see if he can stay in this game. and they're going to pull him. Biller in some true pain after getting hit by George Baker's ball put in play. We hope that all is okay with Cameron Biller. It's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Jake O'Connor on for the Dragons here in the top of the third with Ford at third base and one down when we come back. It's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for the Glens Falls Dragons after Cameron Biller had to leave because of the ball he got hit with off George Baker's bat, which was a missile. Coming in relief of him, and we hope that all's okay with Biller, is Jake O'Connor.
This is his 9th appearance as a Dragon. He's thrown 11 2/3 innings and pitched to a 9.26 ERA. Given up 12 hits and 12 walks during that time as well.
Has pitched against the Stallions before, and for this Glens Falls team, they had to go through a lot of arms yesterday. Played 15 total innings against the Amsterdam Mohawks, and you always want to try and throw your best. Dylan Harding, Connor Trudeau, Chase Falcon pitched in Game 1 for the Dragons, and then in Game 2, which was a 9-1 loss, they burned 5 arms, starting with Colin McMahon, Xavier Garcia, Christian Mello, Gabe Gifford, and Ethan McGarry. So this is a team that over the last 2, which is really just yesterday, used 8 pitchers in total and already on their second here in the third.
And it's been the opposite for the Stallions. They only used 2 pitchers last night, just the second time all season that the Stallions have won a game and only used 2 pitchers. And Constance, Dan, it looks like he's going to go the whole way here. He's thrown 2 perfect innings for the Stallions.
6 up, 6 down, and he struck out the side in the second, and they're still giving O'Connor some time to warm up as he had no time in the bullpen to get ready to go. He was just pulled in immediately once Biller was in some true discomfort, and we hope that all is okay with Cameron Biller. He leaves the game with a line of 2 1/3 innings pitched. 3 hits, 4 earned runs as of right now. It could be 5 with Justin Ford at third, 4 walks and a strikeout. Really didn't help himself in either respect, was having trouble locating the zone, and then when he did find the zone, ended up letting up loud contact.
Fitzsimmons has had the best swing of the day so far, a solo homer over the right field fence here at East Field. But going to Jake O'Connor now, Dan, he has to come in for Biller. The last time he pitched against the Stallions was in the 9-5 loss in the most recent meeting between these two teams, and he couldn't even finish an inning. Only went 2/3 of an inning before getting pulled, gave up 2 hits and 1 earned.
We'll see how he fares against the power bat of Travis Hobbins-Siefken here in the top of the third. 1 down. Justin Ford is at third base. First pitch from O'Connor in there for strike 1. O'Connor played in this league last year, was with the Albany Athletics, where he both hit and pitched. With the Athletics dissolving as a baseball club, comes over here to Glens Falls for the 2025 season. Hobbins-Siefken's down 0-2. Makes contact with that one and slaps it over the shortstop, Savoca. He can't make the play. Ford in to score. 5-0 Saugerties on a bullet from Travis Hobbins-Siefken.
loud contact from the Stallions here today. Hobbin-Siefken, Baker, Fitzsimmons, all guys that have just scolded the baseball so far through the first 2 1/3 innings on offense.
That'll go down as a single, no error. Tag to Savoca. So RBI number 24 for Hobbin-Siefken, which is second on the team. Casey Comiskey at the plate takes a first pitch strike.
Hobbin-Siefken also is top 6 in the RBI category as well, like you said, number 24 this season.
So final line for Biller is 5 runs across, 4 of those being earned. Comiskey with a weak fly ball into center field. Jackson is there. 2 down here in the third. Well, the Dragons have an error. The Stallions defensively have been clean over their last 2 games, which was a big talking point in that losing streak where they had 16 errors across 5 games. Have trimmed that down to just 0 now over the last 2.
And coming into today, before these last 2 games, the Stallions had at least 3 errors in 5 of their last 7.
Ryan King at the plate, the Rhode Island product, walked in his first at-bat. Stallions have had 5 come across here at East Field in the first 3 innings. Had 3 in the first, 1 in the second, off of Dylan Fitzsimmons' solo homer. And then 1 here in the third. Looking to add more with King at the plate. Hobbin-Siefken goes to second. Here's the throw down from McLaughlin. Beats him to the bag, but the throw is high. Savoca can't get the tag down, and the Stallions have a runner in scoring position. Stolen bag for Hobbin-Siefken. 3rd of the game for Saugerties.
And now number 10 for Hobbin-Siefken this year. This being his 23rd game as a Stallion. He's now the 3rd guy on the team to hit double-digit stolen bases.
King trying to bring him in. Pops one to the right side. That's playable in foul territory. Galello moves over, can't make it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Derek Constance set to come back out for the Stallions in the 3rd inning. He's been spectacular so far, has retired every batter he's faced in order.
And 4 of those have been strikeouts. All swing in last inning. He K. Jenks looking in the first.
King takes down low. That ball gets away from McLaughlin. He's not even going to try and throw down to third. And on the wild pitch, Hobbin-Siefken moves up 90 feet.
Great dirt ball read from Hobbin-Siefken over at second base. He's got the perfect vantage point on it. Saw it was going to go in the dirt. Kicked away from McLaughlin, not too far. But Hobbin-Siefken got a great read on it and bolted towards third right away.
The 2-2. Misses down low, and that one gets past McLaughlin at home. Coming home to score is Hobbin-Siefken. Back-to-back wild pitches from Jake O'Connor, and it's 6-0 Saugerties.
This is the dream start for a Stallions fan here today. Come into today on a 4-game winning streak. It's been the offense powering the Stallions to victories, and they're doing so once more here today. 6 runs in the first 3 innings on offense.
King, a liner up the middle. That ball is through. 2-out single for Ryan King. Stallions not done yet here in the 3rd. And now Michael Lebinson comes to the plate with the runner at first.
And if you're King right there, you got to be a little bit frustrated that O'Connor threw the pass ball on the previous pitch, because if he didn't, it would have been an RBI for Mr. King. But nonetheless, he's on base here with a single.
Michael Lebinson steps in now, lined out over to second base in the 1st inning, and was the last out of the 1st. Stallions sending so far 18 hitters to the plate through the first 3 innings. 2-0. O'Connor comes set. Here's the pitch. Lebinson smacks it over to Savoca. He will throw to second for the force. But the Stallions add 2 more here in the top of the 3rd. RBI single from Hobbin-Siefken, and he scores on a wild pitch. Makes it 6-0 Ponies going to the bottom of the 3rd. It's the bottom of the third here at Eastfield. Dan Challen with you alongside Nick Zuppi. Derek Constance back out on the bump for his third inning of work, and he has been spectacular so far. Has retired 6 straight here tonight. Nick Galello, the first baseman at the plate, and it was a really dominant second inning for Constance. Struck out the side, 3 Ks in a row, all swinging. 1 out. Big cut and a miss from Galello, who is one of 3 Hofstra players on this team. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Stallions up 6-0. Plated 2 in the top of the third. Galello just gets a piece, and now Constance is teed up for what would be his 4th straight strikeout.
And Dan, the Stallions pitching staff as a whole during this 4-game winning streak has succeeded. They're allowing only about 3 runs per game.
Nearly had number 5 on the day for Constance. And if he is to reach 6, that would be the most by a Stallions pitcher strikeout-wise this season. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the third. Constance deals. Sky-high pop, tailing into foul territory. Lino not with a play. And we'll do it again at 1 and 2.
Back-to-back foul balls with 2 strikes from Galello. He's putting up a fight against Constance, but still has a long way to go. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Constance deals. Galileo puts it over to short. Maroney throws to first. It's in time. That is 7 batters retired for Derek Constance to start the outing. 1 down in the bottom of the third. You want to talk about everything going right on both sides of the ball for the Stallions. They've got 6 runs through the first 3, and Constance has been perfect. James Houghton, the second baseman, stepping in. Lines a ball into right field. Haben Siefken moving back. He makes the play. It's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third.
Constance looks like he's unhittable right now, whether it's the first pitch of the AB or the last one. These Dragon hitters have no answers right now, and they need to find one quickly, already trailing 6-0.
And Nick, a big thing is it's not like Constance's pitch count is relatively high either. He's worked extremely efficiently so far here tonight.
The big thing for him is working ahead. He's thrown strike 1 to every hitter, including this one, Brendan McLaughlin, here today.
McLaughlin cuts on the first pitch for strike 1. A 1. Smacked into center field. Fitzsimmons moves over, and that is 9. Perfect for Derek Constance to start his outing. He has been unhittable, both literally and figuratively. Gives the Stallions a 6-0 lead going to the 4th.
Welcome back, top of the fourth. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. Stallions lead 6-0 through the first 3 innings of play. Derek Constance has not allowed a Dragon to reach base yet. He's been perfect to go along with 4 strikeouts. And the Stallions offense also has been pretty close to perfect. 6 runs through the first 4 on 5 hits. Fitzsimmons takes low, 4-1. Dylan Fitzsimmons leading things off here in the 4th. And Danny led things off in the 2nd with a bang, a solo home run.
The ball is mashed into right field. That's another righty on lefty matchup, so why not go for 2?
He takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Jake O'Connor now in relief. He came in last inning after Cameron Biller was hit by the comebacker courtesy of George Baker. O'Connor allowed 1 run to come in, but it was charged to Biller because Ford was over at second. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Fitzsimmons. 1-2 misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Dan Fitzsimmons coming into today, this being his 5th game, only hitting 200, but he's had plenty of extra base pop.
So much power, and he was in a 2-strike count last time he had the home run as well. Nearly.
Goes down swinging there. 4 strike 3, only the 2nd strikeout for the Stallions here through their first 3 1/3 innings on offense. The other was Anthony Lino in the 2nd, and now he's going to hit here in the 4th with 1 out against Jake O'Connor.
Impressive thing about these Stallions over the last couple of games is they have been really limiting the strikeouts. Just a maximum of 4 for them over their last 2.
Lino fouls it away, 4 strike 1, and then the Stallions really haven't been striking out that much on the season. They have the least amount of strikeouts, 154, on the year through their first 26 games this summer, averaging about 6 per game. Lino fouls this one away. No balls and 2 strikes after his hand slipped off the bottom of the bat.
He's going to want that one back. It was an off-speed pitch that was sitting at the top of the zone, and that's why you can see him step out there, reorganize. If that bat or if the hand stayed on the bat right there, would have been some loud contact.
Lino has had some loud contact in his last 2 games. 2 straight for him where he's had an RBI single. Takes upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Cameron Biller started for the Dragons, went 2 1/3, gave up 3 hits, 5 earned to go with 3 walks and a strikeout. And he misses there. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lino. This is Lino's 5th game as a Stallion facing Jake O'Connor. The 2-2. 3-2 now is the count with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. It was 0-2. Connor has since thrown 3 consecutive balls, now in a full count against the number 10 hitter in the Stallions lineup, Anthony Lino. The payoff just misses outside. 4-4. Stallions have a base runner with 1 out in the top of the 4th, something they've done so in every inning here. And this one played at 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and 2 in the 3rd. Lino now reaches here in the 4th.
And that's why they've had so much success, Nick, is they've been putting pressure on these hitters. Or the hitters have been putting pressure on the Glens Falls pitchers all day long. They got a new arm warming out there in the pen. It makes perfect sense.
Crane swings a broken bat into play. The second baseman, Houghton, flips to Savoca. Over to first in time for the inning-ending double play. Griffin Crane breaks his bat, puts a grounder into play. Houghton to Savoca at short, over to Galileo at first for the inning-ending double play. It looked like Crane was safe over at first, but nonetheless, we're going to the bottom of the 4th. Stallions still lead 6-0. It is a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen in the bottom of the fourth inning. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. Stallions lead 6-0, and Virgil Heath comes in for his 5th appearance of the summer as a Stallion. He's coming into this game in relief of the starting pitcher, Derek Constance. Dan, who was perfect, literally perfect.
Faced 9 hitters, retired all of them. Exits the game with a line of 3 innings pitched. No runs, no hits. No walks, 4 Ks. Also a change behind the dish for the Stallions. Logan Sanchez replaces Anthony Lino here in the bottom of the 4th. So, interim head coach Ron Kelder and Colin Norton making some changes in the field. Colin Martin not with the team here tonight. And we'll see what Virgil's got in store. Had a very impressive outing last time against the Amsterdam Mohawks where he went 4 innings.
And he got the start in that one. Only gave up 1 earned run, had 3 walks and 2 strikeouts, but overall a very solid performance against the number 1 offense in the PGCBL up at Shuttleworth Park against the Amsterdam Mohawks. First pitch here is to Travis Stroh, and he flies a high fly ball out of play. 4 strike 1. Stroh is the extra hitter here for the Dragons today. They're hitting 10, but Stroh is in right. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled once more off Sanchez, the newly entered catcher, for strike 2. Heath comes into this appearance with a 6.75 ERA across 4 appearances this summer, 10 2/3 innings pitched. The 0-2. Misses upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And maybe for the Dragons, they have no hits in this ball game. Obviously, they've been retired in order so far. Just need to see a change of angle, change of pitcher. Constance was using the fastball so much, and Heath relies more on the off-speed.
Picking up right where Constance left off. First strikeout for Heath, and 5th through the first time through the entire batting order for Stallions pitching against the Dragons. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th.
And Saugerties pitching all around has just looked unstoppable here today. Top of the order for the Dragons.
Tyree Jackson steps in. First pitch from Heath. In there for a strike at the top of the zone with the breaker.
Usually don't see breaker at the top of the zone, but he's used that throughout the first at-bat. And here against Tyree Jackson, the Dragons hitters not picking it up. They're used to seeing Constance fastball at the top of the zone.
And Virgil Heath, another guy who loves to use his fastball, and there it is. 4 strike 2 out on the outside corner against Jackson, who has done a nice job of commanding the leadoff spot for Glens Falls. This being game number 11 as a Dragon, and he's hit in the leadoff spot in all 11. Pop fly over to the second baseman, Levinson, and he will make the play in short right field for out number 2 in the bottom of the 4th.
And that was weak contact there to Levinson. It wasn't a hard hit fly ball by any stretch of the mean, so Heath doing exactly what Constance was doing through his first 3 innings, and still no hits on the board for the Dragons.
Brings up the designated hitter, Trent Jenks, who, like a couple guys on this Glens Falls team, just like starting pitcher Cameron Biller, he pitches and hits, but he's been the best hitter for Glens Falls all year long, and lines this one into center field. Going back on it is Fitzsimmons, and he will make the play on the warning track to end things in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Virgil Heath after Constance goes 3 innings perfect. We're going to the top half of the 5th. Stallions lead 6-0 from Eastfield.
I'll go down the
Top of the 5th inning. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. It's been all Stallions through the first 4. 6-0 Saugerties over Glens Falls. It's been 4 perfect innings defensively for Stallions pitchers. Virgil Heath came in and threw a 1-2-3. Reese Maroney swings at the first pitch. This is into short left field. The left fielder Gallagher comes in on it, makes a nice running play for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning.
That ball nearly got lost in the Bermuda Triangle, but at the very last second, Gallagher coming on to make the play and a quick first out. For O'Connor, he settled into this game nicely. He got helped out with the 4-6-3 double play to end things in the 4th and retires the first batter here in the 5th on 1 pitch.
Maroney's now retired for the first time in his last 7 plate appearances, bringing up a guy who has not been retired much of late either. Justin Ford steps into the batter's box, comes in to this game today, 14 for his last 23, a 6.08 batting average with 12 RBIs. Swings there and nails it to the back of the netting behind home plate for strike 1.
Dragons have a new arm going in the pen, that being Tyler Neller, a 10.80 ERA for him so far in 3 1/3 innings pitched.
He has the 4th highest ERA on the team for Glens Falls this season as O'Connor misses 2 balls and 1 strike.
And you can clearly tell that the Dragons threw their top arms yesterday against the Mohawks in that doubleheader they were swept in.
Ford takes upstairs 3 consecutive balls for O'Connor here to start. Justin Ford, after Reese Maroney flew out to left on the season, Justin Ford is hitting .386, this being his 22nd game as a Stallion, and he takes strike 2 on the outside corner. Dan, he didn't agree with that one.
I didn't agree with it either. That seemed like it was off the plate at the bottom of the zone, but the home plate umpire giving it, and it's a full count.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ford swings and fouls it to the netting behind home plate, so we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 5th, Justin Ford in a full count against Jake O'Connor. Ford coming into this one, leading the PGCBL in RBIs and takes low for ball 4. Now 5 consecutive innings to start this game here today where the Stallions have had a base runner. The only inning where they did not score was the last in the 4th after Crane hit into a 4-6-3 double play.
Ford on base in 4 of his last 5 plate appearances has been truly disciplined at the dish, and George Baker with a chance now to create some trouble here for the Dragons in the 5th. He's had 2 hard hit balls tonight.
One of them scored 2 runs, that being back in the 1st inning, RBIs 2 and 3 for Baker this summer. Ford started to go over at first, ultimately stopped. McLaughlin behind the plate thought Ford was going to run all the way. But nonetheless, it's strike 1 on Baker, who today is 1 for 2. He had the hardest hit ball for the Stallions here today. It went off the pitcher, Biller, that knocked him out of the game. Hope he's okay. Swings here and lines another one to right, and it will get all the way to the wall. Baker rounds first, going to second. Ford gets the windmill from Kelder at third, and the throw home is not in time. It's an RBI double for George Baker here in the top of the 5th inning. 7-0 Stallions.
George Baker is starting to come alive, and it's been ever since July 4th when he had that conversation with Andrew Amato. His swing has looked so much more powerful. He's not trying to hit a home run ball every time. That, a perfect example of it, just a taser into right field, an RBI double, and his 3rd run batted in of the evening.
2 for 3, 3 RBIs here for Baker through the first 4 1/3 for the Stallions on offense, and he has 2 of the 3 hardest hit balls for Saugerties here today. That one and a liner off the pitcher Biller back in the 3rd. But it brings up Travis Hobbins-Siefken now with another RBI opportunity for him here today. First pitch to him misses low, 1 ball and no strikes. Hobbins-Siefken had an RBI single his last time up in the 3rd. He also came around to score a run on a pass ball from O'Connor. The 1-0. Misses low once more, now 2 balls and no strikes on the number 5 hitter in the Stallions lineup.
Saugerties' offense has just looked potent here tonight, and there hasn't been a lone big inning like there was last night against the Diamond Dogs. This has been spread out and consistent.
The 2-0, big swing and a miss from Hobbins-Siefken. 4 strike 1. He chased out of the zone, got a little aggressive. But Dan, you can't fault him for being aggressive. 7-0 lead. Stallions looking to mercy the Dragons. It's already coming into a play. They only need 3 runs to make it a 10-run ball game. The 2-1. In there for a strike with the breaking ball. So after 2 straight balls to start things, Hobbins-Siefken now has to work in a 2-strike count.
And we still have to play 7 innings regardless of the score, but already getting close to double digits for Saugerties.
It's a hard hit from Hobbins-Siefken, and that will get down in left. Baker will score easily. Hobbins-Siefken will head for second, and it's a stand-up double for Travis Hobbins-Siefken. Makes it 8-0 Stallions. Back-to-back RBI doubles. Baker had the first. He just scored on a Hobbins-Siefken stand-up double. 8-0.
Wow, and the Stallions, that's identical swings back-to-back, just to opposite sides of the field from Baker and Hobbins-Siefken. O'Connor's getting hit around in this outing, and the Stallions are just blowing this game wide open. This offense looks unstoppable right now.
11 straight games for the Stallions where they've had at least 2 extra base hits in a game. Make it 12 here tonight. First pitch to Casey Comiskey, check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. 4-1 against Casey Comiskey, who he is 0 for 2 here today, but he had an RBI fielder's choice back in the first. But going back to the Stallions offense, Dan, they've had at least 3 extra base hits in 8 of their last 11 games. The 1-0. Comiskey flies this one over into short right field, and it will get down for a base hit. Hobbins-Siefken stops at third. Runners on the corners for the Stallions here in an 8-0 game in the top of the 5th.
And that's just a nice job by Comiskey, poking a ball into right field. And the Stallions now have a chance to hit double digits already in the 5th inning. If you turn the clock back to last night, they came 1 run shy of hitting the 10-run mark in the 5th as well.
Bringing up the designated hitter, Ryan King, who has been on base in both of his plate appearances here today. He had a single his last time up. Comiskey steals second, throw down. Not in time. 5th stolen base for the Stallions here today through their first 4 1/3 innings on offense. And it's been 4 consecutive hitters that have reached base for Saugerties here in the top of the 5th against Jake O'Connor, who's in relief of Cameron Biller, who went through the first 2 1/3. The 1-0, high fly ball out into short right field. Houghton is camped underneath it. Hobbins-Siefken fakes the tag over at third and will not go anywhere. But a big out for O'Connor. 2 outs now in the top of the 5th.
And that was a sac fly opportunity for King. Just got under that one. And the Stallions got to go to work now, 2nd and 3rd.
And the guy that has to go to work for the Stallions is Mike Levinson, the second baseman here today. 0 for 2. He ended the 1st and 3rd innings, actually, was out number 3 in both of those. But has a 2-out, 2 RBI opportunity as he fouls this one for strike 1 near the Dragons dugout, who are trailing 8-0 and have yet to record a hit through their first 4 innings on offense. They actually have yet to record a base runner either Constance and Heath have been perfect through the first 4. The 0-1, Levinson fouls this one back to the netting behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
Couple of drag racers behind us right now, Nick, and the Stallions have been racing away with this game. Levinson almost made it 10-0 right there on that swing, just got under it.
And this is a guy who hit just north of 360 for the RPI Engineers last spring. The 0-2, defensive swing just over the head of interim head coach and first base coach Colin Norton.
Well, it actually skimmed him right there. Norty did a nice job of putting the left hand up, gets a little bit of a dodge on it. Luckily, it didn't smack him in the head, but he's got that helmet on for a reason.
We've seen him be pretty aggressive over there coaching first base. He likes to stick out his bare hand and try to make the play. Coach Norton played college baseball back in his day as Levinson takes upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is Levinson's 3rd game as a Stallion. Game number 26 for Saugerties overall. The 1-2 pitch. Misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the number 8 hitter in the Stallions lineup.
And Levinson was nearly fooled right there on the breaker, but not to be. Gets another crack.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Hobbins-Siefken over at 3rd. Comiskey over at 2nd. Levinson in the box. The 2-2 from O'Connor. Misses low. Count goes full at 3-2.
And not the guy you want up next if you're Jake O'Connor. Fitzsimmons waiting, already has a solo shot in this game.
First base is open, though, which would create a force at any base. The payoff. Misses inside, ball 4. Bases full of ponies here in the top of the 5th after the Stallions have already played it 2 for Dylan Fitzsimmons, who had the swing of the night so far. A home run over the right field fence here at East Field.
And Ryan Dio, the head coach for the Dragons, staying put in his dugout. He's going to let O'Connor work out of this with 2 down.
The Glens Falls had to use 9 pitchers in their doubleheader against the Amsterdam Mohawks last night. O'Connor misses low. 1 ball and no strikes on Fitzsimmons. O'Connor's already the 2nd pitcher here today for Glens Falls. Cameron Biller through the first 2 in a 3rd innings, gave up 5 earned. The 1-0. Misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Stallions, then, this is what they do. They show great patience in the batter's box, a team that doesn't strike out very much and walks a lot. The 2-0. Big swing from Fitzsimmons, lines it over to right. Stroh is there to make the play and end things in the top of the 5th inning. Stallions plate 2 on 3 hits, 2 RBI extra base hits in the inning, courtesy of Baker and Hobbins-Siefken. We're going to the bottom half of the 5th. It's now 8-0 Saugerties. Bottom of the 5th. Leading things off for the Dragons is Aiden Gallagher. He takes strike 1 from Virgil Heath. Stallions plated 2 in the top half of the 5th. An RBI double from George Baker and Travis Hobbins-Siefkin made it 8-0 Stallions. Heath now gets ahead 0-2 on Gallagher. Dan, it's just been almost the perfect game, pun intended, for the Stallions here today. 8 runs through their first 5 innings on offense, and the Stallions pitchers, they've literally been perfect.
Haven't let up a hit yet, and Heath in an 0-2 count here.
The kick and the pitch almost gets Gallagher swinging in the dirt. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Heath came in last inning in the 4th, where he worked a 1-2-3 inning and had a strikeout of Travis Stroh. The 1-2 misses way inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Gallagher is talking with the home plate umpire, thinking he's hit by the pitch. Here comes head coach Ryan Dio, going to have a discussion with the guy behind home plate calling balls and strikes today. The crowd certainly.
Dio thinks so. Home plate umpire does not. And obviously the home plate umpire had the best view at it, and there's no replay in the PGCBL. So the umpires are now going to talk this one over. Dio wasn't actually out at third base yet, ironically enough. Sanchez chuckling behind the plate. And this ruins the perfect game. First base runner of the ball game for the Dragons in the bottom of the 5th.
Comes by way of a hit by pitch here in the bottom of the 5th, and the head coach for Glens Falls, Ryan Dio, helping out his offense, still searching for their first hit of the ball game, as interim head coach Colin Norton is now going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire just to get on the same page with what just took place after all that confusion, to see if Gallagher was hit by the pitch.
But it's all good vibes. All coaches are laughing. It seems like Norton's got a smile on his face. Dio chuckling over there on the third base side. So all is well across the board.
Regardless, Gallagher will be over at first and bring up Robert Mello, who is the extra hitter for Glens Falls here today. Heath misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Stallions have scored 8 runs through the first 5 innings on offense on 8 hits. 3 of those have been for extra bases that have scored a run as well. Glens Falls still searching for their first hit. The 1-0. Misses low with the fastball. Now 2 balls and no strikes.
This is really the first time all game that we've seen any Stallion pitcher get behind a Glens Falls batter.
Robert Mello is the Dragon in the batter's box in a 2-0 count against Heath. Fouls this one off the end of the bat for strike 1. Aiden Gallagher over at first after he was hit by the pitch. Robert Mello struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Leading off that inning as well against Derek Constance. He was one of 4 strikeouts for the right-hander for the Stallions in his 3 innings of work. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss from Mello. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heath doing a nice job of working his way back into the count.
Certainly is right here, and neither pitcher has let up a base on balls yet today, and Virgil doing a nice job getting himself back into the count.
Heath had strikeout number 10 back in the 3rd inning of Travis Stroh. As this one gets by Baker, the pickoff attempt from Heath squirts past him, and rounding second and going to third is Gallagher. Baker's throw over there is not in time. A free 180 feet for Aiden Gallagher here in the bottom of the 5th. First time the Dragons have had a runner in scoring position all game.
It's coming on an error from Virgil Heath. He spiked the pickoff play over there at first base, and he hands Gallagher third base.
Robert Mello in the batter's box for Glens Falls, still in a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Heath had his 10th strikeout back in the 4th against Travis Stroh, now 1 strike away from number 11 this year. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. There it is, strikeout number 11, 2nd of the day for Virgil Heath through his 1st inning and a 3rd out in relief.
Virgil's doing a nice job right now of controlling what he can control. He wipes away the pickoff play, locks right back in, and deals a nasty off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate for out number 1.
Bringing up third baseman Joe Carpierre. 0 for 1 here today with a strikeout. Glens Falls, middle of the lineup, 4, 5, 6, all went down swinging back in the 2nd. First pitch from Heath to Carpier's, misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Carpier's this season has hit .204. He's played in 19 games as a Dragon, tied for the most on the team with Jackson Gallagher, who stands over at third after he was hit by the pitch and advanced on the 1. Carpier's puts this one play over to short. Maroney will field and fire across the diamond. Baker makes the nice stretch over at first. Gallagher scores, so it's the first run for Glens Falls as we await confirmation on the play. The 2 umpires are going to go over there and have a quick conversation. Maroney fielded it over at shortstop. Baker was forced to make the nice stretch. This is his first game.
That was a full split from George Baker. It was like he was a gymnastics athlete right there. Full extension and got down there for the stretch. I think that was out over there at first base, but obviously the umpires have a better view than us. That would be the first hit of the ball game, and he is safe.
That is the first hit of the ball game for Glens Falls. It also results in the first run for Glens Falls here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gallagher comes in to score. This brings up Gino Savoca, hitting 6th in this Glens Falls lineup. They're playing shortstop today. He's actually made an error in all of the last 3 meetings between these 2 teams. Yet to do so here today. First pitch to Savoca is lined into right. That will get down for a base hit. Falls in front of Hobbins Siefkin. Stopping at second is Carpier's. Runners on first and second for Glens Falls, bringing up Nick Galeo to the batter's box.
And the offense finally starting to come alive. That's back-to-back singles for this Glens Falls offense. And they've got runners at first and second now with 1 down.
Back-to-back hits for Glens Falls. Carpier's and Savoca brings up Galeo for his second plate appearance. He hit in the 3rd and grounded out to Maroney over at short. The kick and the pitch put in play. 1 hopper to Maroney, who goes in and out of his glove and does not throw it over to first either. Reese Maroney has been so smooth with the glove all year. Having some troubles in the bottom of the 5th over at short. The wide throw to Baker at first, and now the ball goes in and out of his glove on the 1 hopper from Galeo. But nonetheless, Glens Falls has the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 5th.
That's the right play right there. If you are Galelo, get it over to first, but for Maroney, no reason to throw it across the diamond and have another error.
James Houghton now steps into the batter's box. Base is loaded for Glens Falls. The old pitch, swing and a miss. 4 strike 1. First pitch between these 2 guys. Virgil Heath in for his 2nd inning of work. The only out he's gotten came on a Robert Mello strikeout, and since then it's been 3 consecutive singles for Glens Falls, bringing up Houghton with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th. And Virgil Heath would like to have a conversation with catcher Logan Sanchez, but Sanchez staying put. The 0-1 from Heath misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is the first trouble we've seen any Stallion pitcher get into here tonight, and the lone run in this game came across after Virgil threw behind first base. So just time to pound the zone. Dragons hitters have shown early on in this one that they haven't been able to keep up.
Carpier's over at 3rd. Savoca at 2nd. Galeo at 1st, and Heath misses there with the big 12-6 curve. 2 balls and 1 strike, and now Sanchez will go out to speak with Heath, who's in relief of Derek Constance, who threw the first 3 innings, and he was perfect. 4 strikeouts. Heath then followed it up with a 1-2-3 4th, and now in the 5th has run into a little bit of a trouble.
I think the biggest thing here is Sanchez and Heath just getting on the same page. If you saw that last pitch, it was off speed at the top of the zone. It would have been a strike if Sanchez caught it. I think he was expecting fastball, and they just seem a little bit crossed up right now.
Sanchez entered for Lino last inning. In the 4th, Anthony Lino started behind the dish, went 0 for 1 with a walk. He's the number 10 hitter in the Stallions lineup. Logan Sanchez will actually lead things off in the 6th when the Stallions come to bat, but they have bigger fish to fry here. Bases loaded for Glens Falls. An opportunity for the Dragons to get back in the game, trailing 8-1. The 2-1 pitch gets behind Sanchez at home. It will kick up the third base line, allowing Carpier's to score. 8-2 Glens Falls, and now 2 runners still in scoring position.
And you saw the reaction from Colin Norton on the bench there. That's back-to-back pitches that Sanchez has not caught cleanly in his glove, and that one ends up costing the Stallions greatly. They let up 2 runs here, and really 2 runs that should not have been given up.
It's been about a week and a half since Sanchez has caught this season. He's been the DH a couple times, extra hitter as well. 3-1 is fouled out of play down the left field line. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning, Virgil Heath toeing the slab for the Stallions. He's allowed 2 runs to come across in the inning after the Stallions score 2 in the top half. The payoff, put in play, foul down the first base line. Baker made the look at it, but it was a foul ball. So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Savoca is over at third. Galeo is over at second. Carpier scored 2 pitches ago on the wild pitch from Heath. 3 consecutive singles for Glens Falls in the inning as well. Brings up Houghton with 2 runners in scoring position. Now an 8-2 ball game. The 3-2 pitch. Chopped in play over to the second baseman, Levinson. Fields fires over to first in time to retire Houghton, but it's a successful swing at that. Savoca comes in to score. It's now 8-3 Stallions over Glens Falls.
RBI fielder's choice. Stallions will trade that all day, given that they are already up before that play by 6, and now 2 outs on the board, and really 2 of the 3 runs that have come across here in the bottom of the 5th should simply have not. It's been defensive lapses for Saugerties.
Brings up the catcher, Brendan McLaughlin for Glens Falls. First pitch to from Heath to him is a foul ball out of play for strike 1. And this is the perfect guy to have up in this situation if you're Virgil Heath. A great opportunity to get out of it with statistically in the batting average category, the worst hitter in this Dragons team. 0.87 from McLaughlin this year in 10 games played. Heath fires in a strike. Now way ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Just got to finish him off here and wipe away this inning, get the Stallions bats back into the dugout and stretch this game out once again.
McLaughlin has 2 hits and 23 at-bats. Both came against the Stallions as Heath misses outside to him. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning, Glens Falls has plated 3, making it an 8-3 ball game. First 3 hits, first 3 runs, and first 5 base runners have all come in the inning. McLaughlin lines this one, and it will get down for a base hit. Ford cuts it off right by the line. McLaughlin heading for second. The throw is off the bag. RBI double for Brendan McLaughlin. His first extra base hit and RBI of the season in game number 11 as a Dragon.
Talk about a guy who needed a hit. McLaughlin finally gets one down. An extra base hit, drives in a run, and in a blink of an eye, this has turned in from what was an 8-0 game to an 8-4 ball game. Dragons cutting it in half here in the bottom of the 5th.
Before the innings started, we were talking about the mercy rule in between innings. It was an 8-0 game through the first 4.5 innings of play, but Glens Falls has ended that conversation, at least for now. It's an 8-4 ball game. They played at 4 in the inning on 4 hits and 1 Stallion error. Here in the bottom of the 5th, bringing up Travis Stroh against Heath, who takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. Stroh faced Heath back in the 4th inning. He's the only guy, the second guy that Heath struck out. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Heath here today. One of them was Travis Stroh. The 1-0. Big breaking ball in there for a strike. Heath gets back into the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Bottom 5. Been a long half inning. Almost about 25 minutes. Another big breaking ball that misses at the top of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike to Stroh, who coming into this game hitting only 150 through 15 games as a Dragon. The 2-1 pitch, line to right, and Baker does not make the play. It goes off his glove. Levinson picks it up in between first and second. A costly error for the Stallions brings up the top of the order for Glens Falls. Tyree Jackson steps in with 2 outs and runners on the corners.
And now that's the second error of this inning for the Stallions. Third if you want to count the pass ball that George Baker led up. So things have just been going wrong defensively for the squad, and it brings what would be the 7th run of this inning to the plate for the Dragons.
Jackson hit last inning in the 4th. He's the 9th hitter to come to the batter's box for Glens Falls in the inning. He flew out to the second baseman, Levinson, earlier. This one is a high fly ball out into center field. Fitzsimmons coming around it and makes the play to end things in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dragons cut the lead in half. It's now 8-4 after they played 4 on 5 hits and 2 errors from the Stallions defense. We're going to the top half of the 6th from Eastfield. Top of the 6th inning from Eastfield. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Shalom. Stallions have their lead cut in half by the Glens Falls Dragons. It's now 8-4. They just scored 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors from the Stallions defense as well. And errors were a big talk of the team over this last 8-game stretch. They made 20 in 7 games before these last 2 where they've been errorless. But nonetheless, it's a pitching change. For Glens Falls, Jake O'Connor comes out and Tyler Neller comes in.
And Neller so far this season has been another guy that has struggled on the bump. A 10.80 ERA for him. Just 3 1/3 innings pitched, and in that time, 4 earned runs given up.
Neller coming in closes the book on Jake O'Connor, who threw 2 2/3 out of the bullpen, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned, walked 3 hitters, and K'd 1 Stallion hitter. That was Dylan Fitzsimmons swinging back in the 4th. But the Stallions have work to do here in the 6th. It will start with Logan Sanchez, who entered for Anthony Lino in the bottom of the 4th. Lino in this one went 0 for 1 with a walk. Sanchez now has an opportunity to get the Stallions back in the hit column after they've had 8 through their first 5 innings on offense.
And Sanchez, his first plate appearance tonight. Lino out of the ball game. Last night had the RBI double in the bottom of the 8th, which ended the game.
That one gave the Stallions an 11-1 Mercy Rule victory against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. Sanchez takes outside from Neller. 1 ball and no strikes here at the top of the 6th inning. Stallions hit 10. Logan Sanchez is the number 10 hitter in the lineup. Top of the order looming on deck. Now 6 straight games for the Stallions where they've hit 10 guys, where in their first 20, only 9. The 1-0 pitch. Sanchez swings and misses for strike 1 against Neller. Jake O'Connor gave the Dragons nice length out of the bullpen. He went 2 2/3 after Biller only got through the first 2 1/3, but Neller misses there. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Sanchez fouls this one away through the netting, actually here at East Field behind home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning, Logan Sanchez entered the game in the bottom of the 4th. This is now game number 15 for Mr. Sanchez, and through the first 14 has hit an even 315 hits and 45 at-bats. But he goes down looking to start things in the 6th. Strike 3 for Neller. Only the 3rd strikeout of this Stallions offense here today for Glens Falls.
And over their last 3, have only had a maximum of 4 strikeouts in each of those games. Sanchez rung up on the outside part of the plate.
7th strikeout of the season for Sanchez for the Stallions team. Doesn't strike out very much, only 154 for an average of 6 per game, which is the least in the PGCBL. Griffin Crane now steps in, and he takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And Dan, that one was on the outside corner. These Dragon pitchers to Crane so far through his first 4 plate appearances have been pounding the outside corner. The 1-0 is once more on the outside corner. At least he tried to, but it was way outside. 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Griffin Crane leading things off. He's led things off for the last 3 games, and he scored a run in the leadoff spot in all 3. Takes upstairs now. 3 balls and no strikes.
Be great for Crane to get on here and cause some commotion on the base paths for the Stallions offense, which needs to get going.
Neller fires in a strike now. 3 balls and 1 strike. Crane in his first 3 plate appearances had a single in the first. He also stole a base and scored in that inning as well, and had 2 ground outs to second, 1 in the second, 1 in the 4th, as he takes strike 2 from Neller. Now after 3-0, it's now 3-2. But going back to Crane, he hit into a 4-6-3 double play, second to short to first. The payoff misses outside, ball 4. Crane will now reach on the walk to start things in the top of the 6th inning, bringing up Reese Maroney, who hit second in the Stallions lineup.
Reese was retired for the first time in 7 straight plate appearances last inning and will look to bounce back here.
This being his 14th game as a Stallion, comes into this one with a .508 on base percentage, the second highest on the team among qualified hitters. Cam Carroll is actually .01 ahead of him, .509, getting the day off today. First pitch to Maroney is in there for strike 1. The Stallions lineup as a whole looks very different than it did when the last time these 2 teams played. 4 different guys in this lineup did not play the last time the Stallions won 9-5 against Glens Falls. Crane goes away from first. McLaughlin's throw down is not in time. A little bit to the shortstop side of the bag, and it's now Griffin Crane's 7th stolen base, this being only his 4th game as a Stallion.
And Crane does a great job right there, getting off the bag, going over to second base, 7th of the season. He's just a speed machine.
Maroney chops this one over to short. Savoca fields in the hole. His throw across the diamond gets behind the first baseman, Galeo. That allows Crane to come in to score. Stallions answer after Glens Falls puts up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th. They score 1 here in the top of the 6th. 9-4 Stallions.
We'll see if that goes down as a hit or an error. That was a tough play from the beginning from Savoca. Spiked that one into the dirt, and that is going to be scored as an error on Savoca.
Still goes down in the official scoring column as an RBI for Maroney. His 6th RBI of the season, and this being game number 14, brings up Justin Ford, who swings and misses for strike 1, and actually his bottom hand comes off the bat here. And this is a guy, Dan, who's driven in the most runs in the PGCBL, 30 in his first 22 games as a Stallion this summer.
That was a wonky first swing there from Ford as well. Seems to be struggling with the grip a little bit. But the Stallions looking for an explosive inning here. And you got a speedy Maroney over at first. Wouldn't be surprised if he's put into motion.
Now it's 4 consecutive games for Ford where he's either been responsible for at least 2 runs, whether it be scoring or driving in guys. He had 2 RBIs last night in the 11-1 win against the Diamond Dogs. The game before that against the Outlaws, he knocked in 2 as well. In the 8-3 victory up at Damaski Field. The 0-1 in the dirt. Maroney stays put at first. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out in the top of the 6th.
Nice job there by McLaughlin behind the plate to block it. He's had some trouble today behind the plate. A couple of pass balls in the second, which allowed the Stallions to play 2 runs.
Maroney goes away from first. McLaughlin's throw down. Perfect throw in time, and Maroney is nabbed stealing second for the second time here today. Brendan McLaughlin picks up a caught stealing in the top of the 6th, and now 2 outs in a 2 ball, 1 strike count on Justin Ford, with Tyler Neller allowing a run to come across in his first inning of work.
Seemed like Neller pitched out right there. They kind of knew Maroney wanted to go over second. Clean throw down, and he's out.
The 2-1. Big swing and a miss from Ford. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes with now 2 outs. In the top of the 6th inning, Sanchez went down looking to start things, and Crane walked and came around to score on an E6 from Savoca that Maroney hit into, but was just gunned down at second, and Ford nearly is gunned down on strikes, just misses the inside corner. Count goes full. The payoff. Just misses on the outside corner from Neller. Nonetheless, it's a 2-out walk from Ford, bringing up George Baker here today. He's had 3 really nice swings on the baseball through his first 3 plate appearances. He's driven in 3 runs as well, 2 hits here today.
Been hitting the ball hard, and the Stallions would love to get another run. Why not? Here in the 6th, back-to-back innings with 2 runs.
Stallions have scored 9 through their first 5 2/3 on offense on 8 hits. 2 errors from Glens Falls as well has helped them, but it's been mainly the Stallions hitting. First pitch to Baker. In there, 4 strike 1. Baker hitting cleanup today. Got the day off last night against Mohawk Valley. This being game number 6 as a Stallion. The 0-1. Popped into center field. Jackson on the run. He's camped underneath it and will make the play to end things in the top of the 6th inning. Stallions plate 1 run on a Griffin Crane scoring after Reese Maroney hit into an E6. Stallions now lead 9-4 going the bottom half of the 6th inning. Welcome back to East Field here in Glens Falls, New York. Nick Zuppi alongside Dan Challam, bottom of the 6th inning, and it is a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Jace Van Valkenburg comes in for Virgil Heath, and he fires in strike one on pitch number 1. Trent Jenks leading things off for Glens Falls. He hits second in the Dragons order, 2-3-4 due up here in the inning. Jenks so far today is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but lines this one over the shortstop Maroney. Field spins, hit the throw over to first, in time for out number 1 in the bottom half of the 6th.
Nice play by Maroney. Makes up for the E6 he had in the last inning. And there's one down.
Van Valkenburg comes in for Virgil Heath. He threw 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. All those hits and runs came last inning in the bottom of the 5th after he threw a 1-2-3 4th. Gallagher flies this one out of play. 4 strike 1. Now, Dan, turning to Jace Van Valkenburg, this has been a guy who's been really reliable for the Stallions really all season long, this being appearance number 10.
It just blew up in his last outing against Amsterdam, but that's one where you can't really fault Jace. He pitched so well up to that point.
Misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Gallagher, who here today was the first base runner for Glens Falls in that 4-run 5th inning, where they sent 9 hitters to the batter's box. Trent Jenks was the only one who didn't hit in this lineup, and Van Valkenburg misses low, 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. This being appearance number 10 for Jace. He's pitched to a 3.27 ERA, 1 win, 1 loss in 22 innings out of the bullpen for the Stallions. Throws it over the head of Gallagher, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Just lost control of the off-speed there. Yanked it over the backstop, just didn't finish the pitch.
Van Valkenburg has pitched the most innings out of any Stallions pitcher this year, 22. He has 11 walks to go with 17 strikeouts, so this is a guy who normally commands the zone very well and has been very reliable out of the bullpen. Gallagher pops this one over into short right field. Coming on is Haben Siefken. He will make the play. 2 outs in the first 2 hitters Van Valkenburg faces in relief of Heath here in the bottom of the 6th.
Doing a great job. Doing exactly what Constance did in that first inning, just pounding the zone and letting his defense do the work.
Really what he did in all of the innings he pitched. He threw the first 3, started things for the Stallions, first time he pitched in nearly 3 weeks, and was perfect. No walks, no hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Van Valkenburg fires in strike 1 to Robert Mello, who's 0 for 2, both strikeouts swinging, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 5th. Constance got him as well as Heath. The 0-1. Fouled off. 4 strike 2. Van Valkenburg 1 strike away from picking up strikeout number 18 on the season.
Mello 1 strike away from getting the silver sombrero here tonight. That would be 3 strikeouts for him.
The 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stallions plated 1 in the top half of the 6th. An error by the shortstop Savoca allowed Crane to score. And Valkenburg misses outside now. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning.
I would just fill the zone here. There's no reason not to. Mello 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Just give him something. Try and beat him.
The 2-2 misses in the dirt after being ahead 0-2. Van Valkenburg now has to work in a 3-ball, 2-strike count against Robert Mello. This being game number 10 for him, and through the first 9, he's hit .364, which he leads the team in batting average. 3 doubles and a triple as well. Van Valkenburg misses upstairs, 4-4. A 2-out walk for Glens Falls brings up Joe Carpierre, who had an RBI single his last time up.
That's just a bad one right there from Van Valkenburg. You get into an 0-2 count, and then you throw 4 consecutive uncompetitive pitches. Didn't really test Mello at all. Just got to pound the zone here against Carpierre.
Only the 12th walk of the season through now 22 2/3 innings pitched for Jace. The right-hander just committed to New Haven College this past summer before the Stallions started their games. Baker takes a look over at first, and it will land out of play. 4 strike 1 on Joe Carpierre, who, Dan, 2 games ago, he had the swing of the game when the Stallions were leading 4-3. There was a runner on first base. Carpierre steps in, and a 2-run home run to dead center field at Cantine lifted the Dragons to a 5-4 victory.
And that came off the flamethrower Greg Bruno as well. So impressive stuff out of Carpierre's.
Coming into today, hits 204. He's played in 19 games and takes outside 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-out walk to Robert Mello. First time he's been on base after striking out twice the previous 2 plate appearances. The 1-1. Lined over to right field. Hobbin-Siefken on the move, and he will make the play to end the bottom of the 6th inning. Van Valkenburg allows a 2-out walk, but it comes to nothing as he puts up a 0 in the bottom of the 6th. We're going to the top of the 7th. Stallions coming back.
Back here in Glens Falls, Dan Shalom with you, alongside Jack Viator, getting ready for the 7th inning. Stallions are leading this game 9-4. Jace Van Valkenburg in that bottom of the 6th, let up a 2-out walk. Nothing comes of it. And now for the Stallions, they'll face Tyler Neller for the 2nd inning, starting with Travis Hobbin-Siefken. So far in this game, Trav has been on a little bit of a tear. 2 RBIs for him, and in his last 2 at-bats, a single and a double.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from the offense, scoring in every inning but one. Consistency is pretty good.
Takes a first pitch strike, and Hobbin-Siefken has been an integral part of this offense. He's been really a guy who can drive in runs and just gets under that one. A high fly ball into right field. Stroh makes the play, and an easy first out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, you kind of talk about it. Travis has been here since day one and has always kind of stuck in that 4 to 6 spot in the lineup, and it's been a consistent hitter throughout the season for him.
Certainly has. Another guy who's starting to find himself as of late is Casey Comiskey. He singled in his last at-bat. That was in the 5th. Takes a first pitch ball on the outside part of the zone. The Saugerties Stallions here tonight have plated a run in every inning but one. The only 0 on the board coming in the 4th. Neller deals. Comiskey chops it to Savoca at short. A weird bounce. Fires over to first quickly, not in time. Comiskey beats it out. 2nd straight single for him.
That's why you hustle. You see a lot of kids take summer ball as kind of just a break from the game, but, you know, coaches are watching at school. Fans are here to see some competitive baseball, and that's why Casey just hustles out a ground ball to short, and now he's on base.
Ryan King next for the Stallions here in the top of the 7th. Rhode Island product has had a sneaky day for himself. A walk in the 1st, single in the 3rd, but popped up to 2nd in his last at-bat. First pitch is yanked outside, gets past McLaughlin behind the plate. Comiskey goes over to 2nd on the wild pitch. Stallions with a runner in scoring position for the 3rd straight inning.
Key for them is kind of just moving these runners in. They've had a lot of opportunities, and they've capitalized on all of them so far. Like to see King try and put something to the backside here and have Comiskey round third and head home.
Stallions 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position here tonight. Score could be a lot bigger than what you see right now, which is just 9-4 ponies. And on the other side of things, the Dragons have plated 4 of their 7 runners after they've been at second base. A quick chat between McLaughlin and Neller after a couple of pitches that they've seemed to not be on the same page on. 2 balls and no strikes to the DH Ryan King. Takes down low, and Jack, this is something that we've noticed a lot from Ryan King. He's a disciplined hitter at the plate, really waits for his, and when he does get his, drives the ball.
Yeah, well, that's what you get from a seasoned baseball player. You know, he's just finished his senior year at Rhode Island. He's not his first time in the box, so he's very patient, very disciplined, and kind of knows what to do to help the team.
Shows it right there. Takes the 4-pitch walk, and you go from a guy who was a senior at Rhode Island this past season to a bat that was a freshman and Michael Levinson, and we're going to see a mound visit here from Ryan Dio. There's an arm going in the Dragons bullpen, and it will be a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for Glens Falls. Here in the top of the 7th, Tyler Neller leaves this game with runners at first and second, and Levinson due up when we come back. Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen here for the Glens Falls Dragons in the top half of the 7th with the Stallions threatening. Tyler Neller comes off after an inning and a third, and Tate Van Alsten's on.
Yeah, just his 3rd appearance of the season. He's only worked 2 innings so far, but in those 2 innings, he's been pretty effective. Batters are hitting about 167 off of them, and just a 4.5 ERA, so expect probably just an inning out of him, maybe 2 at most.
Neller's line is still open. Let up 1 run unearned in the 6th, but first and second, which is King and Comiskey, he is responsible for. Levinson at the plate, 0 for 2 tonight. cuts at the first pitch he sees. He was swinging for the fences there.
I like the aggression. Might be a little amped up with his coach in the crowd tonight, but just got to stay focused and lock back in.
Gets hit by the pitch, and Van Alsten loads the bases. Not the guy that the Dragons want to be facing here with the bases juiced. Fitzsimmons at the dish. He has a solo shot in this game. Actually was at the plate with the bases loaded last time, lined out to right field.
Yeah, it seems kind of whenever Fitzsimmons gets bat to ball, he does damage. You know, he's a young player, just finished his senior year of high school, made it all the way to the championship round of the state tournament. And, you know, just looking for some more experience before he starts his collegiate career at St. John's.
Takes upstairs for strike one. We look back at that most recent one. Off speed just nailed Levinson. Wasn't a fastball or anything, and he's more than comfortable to take the contact. And the bases are loaded.
Yeah, it seemed a lot less of an impact compared to George Baker's comebacker to the pitcher.
It's a 1-1 count here to Fitzsimmons. Trying to blow this game wide open for Saugerties and nudge them closer to the mercy rule. Takes inside, 2-1. And that would be big, Jack, for the Stallions team that has a crucial stretch coming up against the Amsterdam Mohawks, the home and home after the off day tomorrow. They could really reset the whole staff and pitch how they want to the Mohawks.
Yeah, you kind of just got to take advantage of games like these where, you know, your opponent isn't at the top of the leaderboards as a pass ball comes
That one falls away from McLaughlin. Coming home to score is Comiskey. He's safe. Both runners move up 90 feet. 10-4 Saugerties. And you can hear the emphatic yeah from the dugout. The Stallions players are still locked in here.
Yeah, you know, it got a little scary in the fifth there. 4 runs, and it kind of seemed like Glens Falls was starting to take advantage of the momentum. But credit to Van Valkenburg coming out in the 6th and putting up a 0, and the Stallions getting back to their deal at the plate.
3-1. Misses, and Van Alsten loads the bases for a second time. He's come out of the bullpen, dealt back-to-back walks, and now Logan Sanchez will get a crack with the bases juiced.
That has been a problem for Van Alsten. In just 2 innings pitched so far this season, he has dealt 4 walks.
Sanchez had an RBI double last night, which ended the ball game in Saugerties, made it 11-1 in 8. Trying to push the Stallions closer to the mercy rule. Once again, here at East Field, he takes a first pitch ball.
Sanchez is very aggressive when he's at the plate. I'm looking and expecting him to have a big swing coming up.
Lays off the inside pitch, 1 ball and 1 strike. And so far this season, for Logan Sanchez, 15 RBIs on the season. Looking up those numbers here in a 1-1 count. The pitch takes it down low. Van Alsten struggling with the control.
It's a good take from Sanchez. He's struggled a little bit this season with staying in the zone and finding his pitch. He's always looking to produce for the team and be aggressive, but sometimes that can come back to bite you. It's important just to stay in the zone here.
Does stay in the zone, but gets under that one. A shallow fly ball into left field. Who's going to be there? It'll end up being the shortstop, Savoca, tagging from third as King. He's in to score. So it's a successful sac fly for Logan Sanchez. 11-4 Ponies.
Great heads-up running by King there. Saw it was trouble, and the shortstop out there had a tough angle, kind of caught it running backwards, and that's a tough throw to make. If the left fielder has a good run on that, he's probably not tagging, but compared to the shortstop making that play.
And that pitch right there nearly fell out there in left field. Savoca, Carpieres, and Gallagher all charged towards it. Savoca ended up making the play. Top of the order here for the Stallions. Griffin Crane at the plate takes a first pitch ball. Saugerties has plated 2 here in the 7th. Made this an 11-4 ball game, and Crane rips one down the third base line. Coming in is Levinson. Going over to third is Fitzsimmons. He gets the wave home. And over into second, standing up, is Crane. 2 RBI double for the Louisville product. And it's 13-4 Ponies.
That's big for Crane right there. You know, the scouting report has shown his defense is outstanding. He has a cannon in the field. And, you know, a young player didn't get a lot of reps at Louisville. And it's a big swing. Had been somewhat struggling at the plate so far this season, but that might be a huge confidence boost for Crane.
And hit it in the perfect spot right there. Crane, with his first 2 RBIs as a Stallion, come in a big spot. If Reese Maroney can put a ball into the outfield, the Stallions would be up by 10 going into the bottom of the 7th with a chance to mercy the Dragons. And Maroney takes strike 1 in the middle of the zone. At one point, this was an 8-0 ball game. The Dragons put up 4 in the bottom of the 5th to make it 8-4, and now with the Stallions, a 4 spot of their own here in the top of the 7th. Makes it 13-4. Maroney takes it inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I like the fight by Saugerties. You know, they dealt with a little bit of controversy in the 5th with the 4 runs, but stayed locked back in and are able to get the bats going again.
Maroney fouls it straight back. Praxi Vigil, the pitching coach, having a talk with Ron Kelder over there at third base, trying to figure out what direction they want to go in on the mound in the bottom of the 7th. And that's got to be on top of third base coach Ron Kelder's mind. The 10 runs, trying to get Crane home from second, and he has unlimited speed. Any ball to the outfield will score him.
Yeah, you saw on Crane's double the aggressiveness by Kelder, waving in 2 there on a ball hit down the line with Fitzsimmons coming in to score from first, who's not the fastest, but Ronnie's always looking to be aggressive. So, good call, worked out.
We see Cam Carroll will get in that bat and replace Justin Ford if Maroney is to reach here in the 7th.
I like that play. You know, you're up by 9, and Carroll does have experience in the outfield, though he has caught as well. You know, you're up 9, and your best player who has done his job tonight was just named PGCBL Player of the Week.
Maroney cuts and misses for strike 3. And you can hear him after that one, not happy with that swing, but the Stallions happy with their 7th. They lead things 13-4 going to the bottom half here at East Field. Bottom of the 7th here at Glens Falls. Dan Challen with you alongside our producer, Bella Holleran, stepping into the color analyst role here in the bottom of the 7th. Dragons coming to bat. Jace Van Valkenburg out there for his 2nd inning of work. First pitch is put in play. Over to Baker at first base. He will take it to the bag. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Nick Galello, the first baseman, will be next. This Dragons team scoring all 4 of their runs in the 5th. Outside of that, zeros across the board, and the Stallions had a perfect game going through the first 4 innings until Virgil Heath let 5 across. Van Valkenburg deals a first pitch strike. A 1's tap foul, 0-2. Against Galello. Stallions on the verge of 5 straight wins. Are going to try and play to run in that 8th to send themselves home early here from Eastfield. Van Valkenburg deals at the top of the zone. He misses for ball 1. Strike 3 from Van Valkenburg. 2 down here in the 7th. Next up will be James Houghton, the second baseman. Van Valkenburg's done a really nice job. He's only faced 1 batter above the minimum. Misses at the top of the zone for ball 1. Jack Viator joining us here once again on the broadcast. And Jack, that spot's been a little bit interesting tonight at the home plate umpire. He's called it sometimes, but lays off it there. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get a feel for it.
Liner into right. Ball bounces in front of Haben Sievkin. It's a 2-out base knock for Houghton, and it's the first base hit allowed by Jace Van Valkenburg. He has really been a guy who comes out of the pen, just puts the ball in play, let his defense do the work.
Yeah, outside of 2 outings, he's been pretty solid. Some would say crispy, like Apple Crisp, but, you know, I like what I've seen, working hard, and just throwing strikes. That's the biggest thing with Jace.
Brendan McLaughlin, the catcher, has an RBI single here tonight, up with 2 down, and Van Valkenburg spikes his first pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
Dan, you kind of mentioned with the upcoming double home and home stand with Amsterdam, you would look for Norton to hope Jace can finish out this game for the Stallions and save them some arms.
That would certainly be good. Stallions looking to just use 3 pitchers here tonight, and they only used 2 last night with Sean Dertinger and Keller Osmond. 1-0 is a big cut and a miss from McLaughlin, and it's 1-1.
Thinking back, it's pretty impressive on what Derek Constance did to start this game. You know, he hadn't thrown in over a week with a little bit of arm soreness, but came back in, was locked in, was throwing hard, throwing strikes, and did his job well.
That just misses at the top of the zone. 2-1. Van Valkenburg on the bump.
Good pitch.
Now 1 strike away. Stallions in the 8th. They will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters coming to the plate, one being George Baker, and he's had a few hard hit balls here tonight. And supposedly Cam Carroll will lead things off, as he was scheduled to come in for Ford in that last inning, and he is out there in left field, so barring another pinch hitter, it will be Carroll to start things in the 8th.
Look at Jace's last 2 pitches. Looks like the cutter. That's his very best pitch. The pitch before the foul was one of his best of the night. Looking a couple weeks ago against Amsterdam through 13 in a row.
Runner goes to second. It's a hit and run laced into the outfield. Fitzsimmons fields. They're going to hold the runner at third. So now runners at the corners. The big thing for the Stallions there, Jack, is nothing comes across, and there's still 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, you just got to get locked back in here. If I'm the defense, I'm telling Jace, so what? You know, 2-out hit, nothing across the plate. Just stay focused, get back to throwing strikes and doing your deal.
And it is the 10-hole hitter at the plate, Travis Stroh, who reached on an E3 in the 5th inning. One of 2 errors that the Stallions committed in that 5th. Van Valkenburg with the power fastball for strike 1.
Stroh just finishing up his first year at Fairleigh Dickinson. Had some very productive outings starts for FDU in the outfield and looking to make an impact right here for the Dragons.
He's down 0-2. Van Valkenburg has gone top of the zone fastball, and it's been working effectively for him here in this at-bat. Runners are at the corners with 2 down. Van Valkenburg looking to give his team a chance to mercy the Dragons in the 8th. Pitch, strike 3. And a big one for Jace Van Valkenburg. Stroh down on strikes for the 2nd time today. We go to the 8th inning. Ponies up by 9. Cameron Carroll to start things here for the Stallions in the top of the 8th. Saugerties just 1 run away from mercying the Dragons, and of course would have to put up a 0 in the bottom half, but they would love to get out of this game early and have back-to-back finals in 8 and save some of those arms for the Mohawks of Amsterdam. Tyler Neller started things in the 7th. He got pulled, and Dave Van Alsten out for his 2nd inning of work here in the 8th. Spikes the first pitch for ball 1.
Saw Carroll earlier on in this game taking the role of the bat boy on the road, and now he's with a bat in his hand. Can do it all.
He certainly can. He's a big vibes guy as well. He's been bonding this team together through and through. Takes down low. It's 1-0.
Yeah, he's very much a team guy. Always seems to make sure everyone on the team is okay and try and do what's best for the team. Kind of seems like he has 8 hands to hand out, kind of like an octopus.
And speaking of, his OBP is sky high because of those 8 tools that you've been talking about. Walking, hitting, extra base hits, stolen bases. He's been doing a little bit of it all. The 2-1 misses upstairs, 3-1 to Carroll.
Yeah, he's definitely just a team first guy. You know, he started the season kind of in the 2 spot. And even if he's moved down, he's hit in the 7th hole and the 6th spot a couple times and always has the same smile on his face.
Gets the 5-pitch walk to start things for the Stallions here in the 8th. And while this might be a 9-run game, that is a big walk because the Stallions would love to end this early. Be George Baker now. Baker tonight with a couple of hard hit balls. Looking for base knock number 3. 3 RBIs already. 2 for 4 line. Takes on the outside corner for strike 1.
You know, I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Andrew Amato. You know, after the game on the 4th of July, he had a long talk with George Baker and just trying to give him tips on hitting and everything baseball. And, you know, Amato had one of the craziest years in PGCBL history just a couple years ago, and ever since that talk, you've seen kind of a flip switch from George Baker.
Pass ball, and it creates an RBI opportunity for George Baker. And the biggest thing that Amato worked on with George, getting closer to the plate, creating that swing to be more compact where the barrel gets more time inside of the zone. And it's already shown here tonight. And Baker's hunting for RBI number 4. 1-1 outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Louisville catcher, who only had 45 at-bats this past season with the Cardinals. So a guy who is enjoying getting increased reps here in Saugerties this summer. They're looking for him to turn into the prototypical cleanup guy. And he's been knocking in guys all night here at East Field. Gets under this one. It's fouled straight back. Nearly hits us here in the Pat Cub broadcast booth. It lands foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I was hoping to make a play. But yeah, with Baker here, the biggest thing is just to do a job. You got a runner on second with no outs. The biggest thing is just to move that runner over when you're chasing 1 run, trying to make it a 10-run game and try and head home a little early.
Takes down low in the dirt. He's a very disciplined hitter as well. Hasn't been chasing a whole lot. Has not struck out here tonight. Finds himself in a full count. Carroll is at second. Nobody down here in the top of the 8th with the Saugerties leading by 9. The pitch. Outside corner, Baker takes it. He works the walk, and there's runners at first and second for Travis Hobbins-Siefkin.
That's a great take. That one didn't miss by much. And, in a full count when you're working hard to stay alive and fight, some players may be prone to swing and try and just foul that one away, but you're really not going to do much with that pitch, and that's a big league take from George Baker right there.
Hobbins-Siefkin, another guy who has multiple RBIs tonight. He's got 2. Flew out into right field in his last at-bat. First pitch missing down low, and the Stallions would love to add as many as they can here in the 8th because that just gives them more breathing room to let up a run in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting Travis to lay down a bunt right here with first and second, nobody out, but Coach Ron Kelder at third is letting him swing away.
2 balls and no strikes. They've tried to pitch Hobbins-Siefkin down low because the 2 balls he's put in play tonight have been middle or top of the zone, and he's done a nice job making hard contact and making the Dragons pay. Two out. Catches the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Van Alsten has started this 8th with back-to-back walks. He came into this game in the 7th and also issued back-to-back walks, one of those being a hit by pitch.
His first time this season pitching multiple innings in a game.
Hobbins-Siefkin laces a ball into deep right center field. Going back is Jackson. He makes the play on the track. Both runners are going to tag 90 feet, and the Dragons don't realize it. Baker with heads-up base running steals 90 feet.
Heads-up play by Baker there. You see the shortstop trying to take the role of a cutoff man to the third, but if he sets up and sees that Baker's trying to go to second, you might have an easier play there, but great job by Baker noticing that and taking his free base.
Casey Comiskey, back-to-back singles for him. Tasked with a job here. Just put a ball either to the right side of the infield or into the outfield to make this a 10-run ball game. First pitch he sees, chops it foul. Comiskey is seeing the ball well in this game. RBI fielder's choice to the right side in the first, which was a second to first base put out.
You'd love to see Comiskey come up big here for the Stallions. He's been hot as of lately, and seems like the slump in the start of the year is kind of behind his mind, but with a big hit right here, you can start to say that he's back.
A weak fly ball into shallow right.
Trouble.
Houghton makes the play. Tagging from third is Carroll, and it was dropped in the outfield. So Comiskey reaches. Stallions plate that pivotal 10th run. It's 14-4, and that'll go down as a base hit. RBI single for Casey Comiskey. A 3-hit night for him with 2 RBIs.
It's one of those tough plays to make as a second baseman running backwards to almost at a diagonal angle, and it's just a tough play to make. It looked like it was in his glove and just popped out. But heads up base running by Carroll to score, and great job by Comiskey doing his job.
Ryan King next. Stallions would love another one, which would be a true Nacarado insurance run here in the 8th. Would give them at least a run of breathing room to close things down. You would expect Jace Van Valkenburg to come out there for the 8th inning, as he's already pitched 2 innings clean. Going over to second is Comiskey. Here's the throw down. It's not in time. Stolen bag for Casey Comiskey, and now the Stallions have a chance to make this a 12-run ball game with the ball to the outfield.
Yeah, looking over to the dugout, you see Van Valkenburg kind of pacing around. Definitely is preparing himself to come back out for the 8th, and not any action in the bullpen as of now.
King gets under that one. A similar ball over to the right side to Houghton. He makes the play. Fakely tagging was Baker. He will stay put. Second and third with 2 down for Michael Levinson. Second time in this game that King has flown out over to second base. Levinson, his last 2 at-bats, hit by the pitch, was actually the first batter that Van Alsten faced, and he plunked him.
Got him right in the back.
This time, throws one not at the back of Levinson, but it misses at the top of the zone. 4-1.
361 season at RPI this year. You look for him to do a job. Just get something, make contact with the pitch. He's not typically known for his power swing, but you don't need that right now. You got a runner on second and third. Anything in play to the shallow outfield or anywhere will do a job.
He is known as an RBI machine, though. Had 27 this past season with the Engineers.
Don't get me wrong, he's a dog.
Stallions looking for back-to-back run rule victories in 8 innings. They did it last night to the Dogs and trying to do it here to the Dragons. 2-2 count.
It's pretty cool here. Anytime there's a foul ball, you see about 600 kids sprint at it, and it's kind of confusing because they all have to return it. But
well,
I love
Jack, the deal is if you return the ball, you get $1 hot dog, a free soda, and I think you get something else too, but it's a lucrative offer for you to return the baseball. You can also buy the ball straight up for $25 here, so your call on what you think is the better deal.
Well, next foul ball, I will be taking off my headset and running because I am kind of hungry.
You'd have to try a famous Dragon Dog here at Eastfield, which I have tried before. They don't put anything on it. It's just a normal hot dog. It's just dubbed a Dragon Dog. The payoff misses upstairs, and the bases are loaded for the 3rd time in this game for Fitzsimmons.
What do you think classifies it as a Dragon Dog if there is nothing on it?
I think it's purely based on the fact that it is sold here at Eastfield.
Do you think they cook it with a little bit of dragon love? Maybe some fire? Put it on
There's definitely got to be some fire going on to cook that dog, unless they're boiling the hot dog, which I don't really know how to feel about. I have had boiled hot dogs before. Do you have a method of preparation you prefer the most?
Oh, I'm a grilled guy all the way. My past life, I was a chef, and so any hot dogs I'd make would go on the grill. Boiling is just not the play.
You don't think pan-fried does the job, too?
That does, too.
Microwave?
No. That is weird.
If you're in a pickle. I wonder what they do here at Eastfield. That's a mystery we won't be able to find out tonight. Well, we can find out the result of the 1-1 pitch, which is slapped into left field. Gallagher going back. He's on the track. He makes the play. 3 at-bats for Fitzsimmons with the bases loaded. Just 1 RBI to show for it in this game. We head to the bottom of the 8th with Jace Van Valkenburg trying to end this game early. Jace Van Valkenburg looking to close things down here in the bottom of the 8th with the Stallions leading by 10. If he can get the top 3 hitters of the Dragons lineup to get out here in the 8th, the ball game will be over. Dan Challen with you alongside Jack Viator in a 14-4 ball game. Van Valkenburg catches the top of the zone. Stallions plating a run in that 8th, and that's all they needed. If they are to close things out here in the 8th, that would be a 10-run rule victory. Ball is clubbed over to Maroney at short. He makes the play, and the Dragons are down to their final 2 outs of this game.
Great job by Jace to get the runner out to start off the inning. Hasn't had the best 2 outings if you ask him himself. He said he wasn't too happy with his previous 2 outings, but, tonight he's looked great.
Trent Jenks, the DH at the plate, he is second on the team in average among these Dragons. Looking to start an 8th inning rally and keep Glens Falls in this game. Van Valkenburg misses at the bottom of the zone for ball 1. With the win, the Stallions would improve to 3-1 here at Eastfield on the season. It's a 2-0 count. And more importantly, get to 5 in a row for the first time this season.
Yeah, the Ponies are definitely rolling. Took down Mohawk Valley by 10 runs yesterday, 11-1, a team that they had some trouble with to start the year, but looked good last night, and the same thing with Glens Falls tonight. They're up by 10.
Ball over to second, backhanded by Levinson, throws to first, 2 down, and 1 more out left for the Dragons. And Jack, you were here last year with us. It always seemed like when the Ponies went on these hot stretches, they would just run into the Mohawks, and all that momentum would be killed. They have a chance to finally overcome that mental block come Wednesday.
I think the biggest thing is just building chemistry. With a summer league team like the Stallions, you have players come and go throughout the year, and that was the case last year a little bit. You had some players join the team with 2 weeks left, and some players stay for a month and a half and leave with the final 2 weeks left. This team is definitely building chemistry at the right time, and it's always a new year every time. New team, new aura with the team, for lack of a better word. But I like what I'm seeing right now. Ponies
I
are
like
hot.
the term aura as well. Stallions with plenty of it here in a 10-run ball game. The 1-1's chopped foul, and now the Dragons are down to their final strike if Gallagher is not to reach.
Well, now I got to ask, who on the team you think has the most aura?
For me, I would have to go with my guy, Cam Carroll. He's got infinite aura points in my opinion.
That's a good one.
The 1-2. Chop foul. How about you, Jack?
I'm going to take my guy, Jamie Z. He's coming out of high school, just finished up his year, only had 4 home runs this season, and just came out of nowhere and hit about 5 in about 3 games, it felt like. Not actually, but.
Has the night off here tonight. Will most likely be in there against the Mohawks on Wednesday. 2-ball, 2-strike count. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, the Stallions scoring in every single inning but 1 here tonight, that being the 4th. And that being the only inning in this entire ballgame where neither team plated a run. And Van Valkenburg dealed that pitch, and the sound guy here in Glens Falls thought that Gallagher missed it, and he started playing New York, New York by Frank Sinatra, which signifies the end of the game. And now the count goes full. And Jack, you were a sound guy back in your day. That is not a great look.
He might be fired.
I don't know if we're going to go that far.
No, I'm just messing. But especially that song. That's the song the Stallions play after a win. We got a guy.
Liner into Hobbins-Siefken. Cue the Frank Sinatra. Stallions win it here at Eastfield. 14-4 the final in 8 innings. And Saugerties, for the first time this season, has strung together 5 in a row.
Dan, it's been a pleasure.
Certainly has, Jack. We will all be back at home to face the Amsterdam Mohawks on Wednesday, that being a 7:05 start. We'll have you with the 6:50 Arch Top Fiber pregame show. Stallions searching for 6 in a row for the first time this season and just for the 4th across the last 2. A dominant 14-4 victory here at Eastfield. Some thank yous to hand out to our producer, Bella Holleran, our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis, our social media man, and color guy, now in a new role, Jack Viator, and to my partner, Nick Zuppi. Stallions win 14-4. Dan Shalom signing off. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Give some credit to Dan Shalom.